Hello everyone, welcome to Red News. What if I told you that China's string of pearls and BRI is about to meet its worst nightmare? What if I told you that Suez Canal blocks will not impact India anymore? Ever wondered why inimical elements are supporting the farmers' protest, or why the government's effort to streamline agriculture sector is not getting any support? So there is this project which is about to change India's fortune. Everyone from the poorest farmer to the soldier at the border, everyone will see its impact. All this is connected to one big strategy by the Indian government. Last month we had posted an article on India, UAE and Greece's growing bond and how this could impact other countries too. But it was mostly based on military and strategic affairs. But there's more to the story. India took a huge step in 2017 which led to the foundation of a corridor which now involves myriads of other countries. One of the countries involved has said that its trade percentage is going to go up by 400% once this corridor opens completely. India, which has opened only a part of this corridor, has already gained employment of 6 lakh people. Can you imagine what kind of impact it will have when this corridor opens completely? This is exactly the reason why so many people want this corridor destroyed. India's economy is largely agriculture based. So government's strategy is simple. Improve the health of agriculture and everything associated with it will also improve. But this is just not about food. It's also about military cooperation, it's about shipping, ports, it's about manufacturing, and it's about big money. For this dream to come to fruition, India had to step out of the subcontinent and also expand its horizons. This is a very far-sighted move. It will take close to a decade for this dream to come to fruition. Remember the famous Nara Jai Jawan Jai Kisan? You will see how this dream is about to change the life of both Jawan and Kisan. To know what I'm talking about, do watch a complete report and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and like and share our content. We post on strategic affairs, ancient wisdom and defense.
According to a report published by Michael Tancham in South Asia Scan, there is a huge India-Arab-Mediterranean corridor coming up. It includes countries from the Middle East to those in Europe like Greece. Let us first explain a little background about how this corridor took shape, and we will in the process also explain the military and the economic significance of it. Rewind to the early 2000s, China sought to carve out a new trans-regional connectivity architecture in Eurasia that reorients the commercial flow towards Beijing, known today as the Belt and the Road Initiative. This was followed by the Silk Road Economic Belt and a series of the Chinese-built port installations. The Pearl of Strings was also a part of the Chinese strategy to eat into India's sphere of influence. India's answer to this was to begin developing its own corridor to reach Europe via Central Asia by constructing a modern deep-sea port on Iran's coast at Chabahar, which is just 72 kilometers from Gwadar. This project also needed an overland transportation link connecting Iran and Afghanistan to Central Asia. With the Chabahar port serving as the Indian Ocean connectivity node, New Delhi sought to establish the International North-South Transit Corridor to create access to Central Asian, Russian and ultimately the European markets, enabling India to effectively compete with China. But this turned out to be a massive flop, with Iran not cooperating and Afghanistan not able to rein in terrorists. Chabahar did not create ripples. Soon the government changed in India and everything that was redundant was decided to be get rid of or find an alternative strategy to. By 2014, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in the Middle East and everyone was of the opinion that India needs oil and ergo to Bonhomme. Yes, almost right. But slowly and steadily, foundation of a corridor was being laid, and every country in this corridor is bound to earn profits, and they decided to cooperate. Building upon this foundation, a fundamental reconfiguration of the commercial architecture of the Western Indian Ocean region was initiated in the year 2017. Presently, India and UAE are working on FTA, that is the Free Trade Agreement, which will skyrocket the trade done between the two countries. But this is linked to what happened in 2017. In January 2017, UAE and India signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement. This happened when UAE's Crown Prince and the Defence Minister were in India to attend Republic Day's parade. Soon as Indian Emirati connectivity infrastructure was initiated for the project to develop further, both countries had to cooperate on a lot of other spheres, which included not just the energy sector but also the agriculture and security related matters. India and UAE decided to share intelligence, and the Indian agencies were given certain liberties in the Middle Eastern countries, which at this point of time we won't reveal much. But let's say the National Investigative Agency was given permission to carry out its operations outside India. Soon India worked on the Indian Middle East Food Corridor. India has engaged with the United Arab Emirates in a massive US $7 billion project to create an Indian UAE food corridor to ensure the food security to the Middle Eastern countries like UAE and other Middle Eastern countries. One example of this is the Saudi Agriculture and Livestock Investment Company acquiring a 29.9% stake at Dawood Food Limited, a Gurgaon headquartered company. Also, UAE-based Lulu Group is now investing in Kashmir and is about to set up a food processing center. It is interesting to note that Lulu Group is owned by an Indian, Yusuf Ali, and majority of the employees in this group are Indians. In short, this becomes a huge employment opportunity for Indians as the corridor expands. Close to 42 food parks are coming up in India, and Indian government has informed that it has created more than 6 lakh direct and indirect job opportunities through the 22 operational mega food parks. This is huge. Agriculture-based economy like that of India is soon going to be catapulted to a new level when even a poor farmer will get the benefits. But it doesn't end here. Normalization of the relations between UAE and Israel gave to the creation of a UAE to Israel railway network via Saudi Arabia and Jordan, with Israel's Haifa port as its Mediterranean terminal. Apparently, the volume of the Israel's trade will increase by 400% thanks to this project. The Trans-Mediterranean maritime link from Haifa to the European mainland at this massive transshipment port in the Piraeus, Greece means Indian goods shipped to UAE's port will be able to reach major markets and manufacturing centers of Europe. So from Mumbai, Indian goods shipped via this route could arrive on the European mainland in as little as 10 days, which will be 40% faster than via the Suez Canal maritime. Amazing, isn't it? This will give a boost to the Indian agriculture and the commercial manufacturing units. Now, the myriads of the companies that are moving out of China and shifting their manufacturing base to India, this newfound route will become a massive boom. Remember the Suez Canal block which happened recently? Next time a block in the region will not trouble us anymore. Also, this route will help avoid Iran-Afghan route, a disturbed region. And if you have noticed that Iran did try arm twisting India vis-a-vis China on the Kashmir issue, while the Middle Eastern countries strongly voiced support in India's favor on the Kashmir issue, silencing many international critics. Other routes are also being worked out, like Israel is now working further on the Eilat route. Countries like Saudi are coming up with projects like the NEOM, which could also become a part of this corridor. Israel and India already share a great bond, and the relation has been steadily being strengthened. In the month of May, it was announced that Israeli firm produces solar technology in India for a project in UAE. The one of the tail and the end destination of the corridor is Greece. Recently, there was a news from Greece as to how they might be planning to buy India's BrahMos missile. When it comes to India, UAE and Greece, there is more than just civilian cooperation. In July, the Greek foreign minister had said that India, Greece and UAE will hold a trilateral dialogue. This is a trio no one imagined would come together. But few recent headlines might help us to understand this a little better. Greek media has reported that Turkey could be looking to acquire nuclear weapons via Pakistan. This definitely is a cause of alarm for Greece, which has recently been sharing turbulent relations with Turkey. Erdogan's statement that Kashmir is important to Turkey as it is to Pakistan was followed by a report that the Syrian terrorists are being readied for Kashmir by the Turkish military. Such belligerent acts have earned Erdogan India's ire. Greece dominates the sea opening towards Turkey via Crete Islands, and it is possibly that India and UAE might utilize it. Earlier, Crete had played a significant role during US missions in the Middle East. Sometime back in the history, the island was under the Ottoman control, This, the largest tourist spot in Greece, which would work in favor of India-Greece tourism sector. Tourists from India to Greece and similar rush to India from Greece can be expected. Partnering with Greece comes with another benefit for UAE and India. We use similar platforms like the Mirage 2000 and Rafale. Also, it is a known fact that Israel, India and UAE share intelligence reports, and with Greece's inclusion, this will become a formidable group. Greece also supports the expansion of United Nations Security Council and that India should be in one of its permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. Also, Greece is known to be an excellent shipbuilder, which India can utilize among other developments for the Indian Navy. India can utilize the rapidly growing bilateral investment partnership among UAE, Israel and Greece as its springboard to develop multilateral joint venture production. This massive food corridor between India, Arab, Mediterranean countries forced India to streamline the agricultural sector and thus the Farmers' Bill. But this is exactly where the inimical elements decided to throw a spanner in the bigger scheme of things with farmers' protests, which have continued for months now. And then of course, there is the terrorism angle, which is supported by Pakistani spy agency in India, would make India an undesirable destination for foreign investment and tourism. Be it the CAA protest or the attacks on the iPhone factory, such news was used to taint India's reputation. Once this corridor becomes fully active, it will change India's agricultural-based economy forever. According to the recent reports, the IMF upgraded its GDP projection for India to 12.5% in the fiscal year 2022. This is exactly why China would hate to see India improving its reputation as an investment destination. When India grows economically, it will also grow militarily, that too threatening China's territorial expansion dreams. The non-contact warfare that indulges through Pakistan is a proof of its insecurity. This is exactly why the Indian government needs to support of its people.